All right, it's Wednesday. I just checked my mail and I got some new in-ears in the mail. Another set sent to me by KZ. They've been sending me some really good stuff. If you haven't seen the video about the KZ DQSs, those were like $14 or $13 on AliExpress. Really good set. I've actually been using those quite often just to see how they hold up. They also sent me the ZARs, which were like $100 pair. I really like those as well. But let's see what we got here. Something totally different, and it's still got the plastic on it, so I haven't even tried it out yet. This will be a legit unboxing. What's cool about these is apparently they have these like 4 little tuners on them, little switches that you can switch up or down that brings in and out different bass responses, different bass frequencies. Come on out there. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you the model. It's the KZ D-Fi. D-Fi right there. I don't know what that means, but that's what they look like. Look very pretty. Don't forget, the original intention of using earphones is to enjoy music. That's nice, sweet touch. Yes, let's enjoy some music. And in our context, I'm gonna be testing these out for not just listening to music, but also using them live. Oh, it comes with this little key right here for the little switches. Okay, nice plastic, not really rubbery, which I don't like the rubber ones. I like the more plasticky ones because they slide better down my shirt. Still doesn't have the doohickeys for cinching, the little cinch slider to cinch this up. I love having that. KZ, I will say, KZ did send me these, but they don't get to watch this video beforehand. I'm just gonna try them out and tell you my honest opinion about them. And every video I make about KZ, I'm gonna ask for that little slider. I know these are super budget, but they're putting so much detail into these little things. My goodness, look how pretty that is. That I'm thinking they could put a little effort into the little slidey piece. All right, so these things are pretty heavy, all metal, not like the normal plastic feel we typically get with the KZ stuff. Oh, so small. Comes with the foam tips on it already. I don't usually use the foam tips, but I might this time. I mean, I need a macro camera to be able to show you this right here. All right, so you have 4 little switches in there that you can switch up to get more bass. The first 3, and they are numbered, 1, 2, and 3, adjust different bass frequencies, all pretty much in the low end. So it's like you can just bring in more bass or take it out. There's actually 16 different combinations because you flip them all up and down. And then the 4th switch just does a full frequency boost. Another thing here that I just noticed is that the way it connects is more like the more expensive KZs, where it's got this housing that like contains the 2 pins. You usually just see that on the more expensive ones, so it's cool to see that on here. How do they fit? They look good? All right, I'm gonna get my little iPhone dongle out here and plug them into it and turn on some like pink noise or something so I can hear what it's actually doing to the frequency, and then I'll just listen to some music and tell you my thoughts. I'm also gonna use them at rehearsal tonight, so I'll be able to really see if they hold up like in a live situation. They're plenty loud, and I have all the switches down. I'm going to, just because I'm curious, I'm gonna just tick up channel 4 first, which is supposed to be the overall frequency boost, and just see how much like louder that gets. I'll put up on the screen the little the graph that it shows. It just shows like incremental boosts in the low end per switch. But it doesn't show all 16 columns. It just like 16 options. It just shows what, like if you were to do 1, 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, the full amount. Sounds good. Let's just boost them all the way. I feel like I'm gonna want everything I can out of this set of headphones. So let's just boost everything. That's the cool thing about it, is like you could boost everything and then cut the frequencies that you don't want. All right, let's listen to some music. About firm foundation. We're doing it this week for the first time. Plenty of volume. Sounds really clear, really right in my ears, like really loud, which I have it loud on my phone. I'm gonna leave it at the same volume and take number 4 off and see how much that decreases the sound. It sounds so good. All right, I'm gonna turn everything off in one ear, everything on in the other ear, and see if I can tell a difference. It's just not very scientific because I think I have hearing loss in one of my ears, so. Dark on when shines down. I think I can hear a difference. Now I want to switch it. I'm gonna switch them all. If you lose this little key, you're probably gonna regret that. It's definitely a lot louder when you put them all up versus all down. I can hear the difference. It's like it's panned to that side now. So I'm just gonna leave them all up and get like the most volume. Basically, I'm just getting the most headroom, most bass I can get. They're not overly bassy, and I even have the foam tips in, which is like making them, you know, really closing off the ears. He won't. All right, let me get another set of ears so I can kind of do like a back-to-back A/B test and kind of tell you what I feel. All right, here I have the DQS. I'm gonna listen to something and quickly swap them out as quick as I can and tell the difference. Okay, there's definitely a difference. Felt a little louder. I have all the switches up and it seems like it's more mid-heavy. Still has that high end. That one had a lot more clearer low end. Not as punchy, but it feels like it was separated more. Again, I have all the switches up, so I may go back and like maybe mid-scoop it if that's a possibility. Yeah, even with all of them up, not as bassy as the DQSs, which the DQSs are, you know, I have the ZAR, so I'll compare those over there. I've heard people say the DQSs are more, they have extra bass in them, which is kind of typical of some cheap pairs. I'm gonna go back to just 1 and 4 up, and then I'll see if I can tell the difference between just having 3 and 4 up. Honestly, I can't tell much difference. I know it's changing things, but my ears aren't the best probably for this type of scientific research. I love the way they feel and they fit really good. They feel nice and heavy. All right, so now I'm gonna try the ZAR. These are a $100 pair. The best way I can describe it is that it's just more flat. These other ones have more separation in the bass. Turn these back on, just all the way up. All the way up. Here we go. A little bass drop in that song. See, I can definitely hear it with the ZARs. I mean, I am still just blown away by these DQSs because I mean, for $13, I don't even know the price of these yet. I think they're inexpensive. I think they're around 30, but I'll look it up in just a second. Yeah, it's not like the bass is missing. It's just not as pronounced in these, and I'm comparing even with everything up. All right, let's take a look and see how much they are. All right, so as we can see on AliExpress, they are $26. So I said 26, but 26 is not right. The ones I have are the $32. So they're $32 to get the little switches. You can get them without the switches. And I guess the thing is are the switches more like a gimmick or are they really useful? Well, they do boost the volume, but even with them all the way up in comparison to the other ones, they're like just as loud. They're not like way louder. Let me go to the website and show you that little graph here that shows what those different switches do. So your basic level with them all off is way down here on the red. Everything in here is basically the same. With level 1 on, you get a little boost, and then by the time you get here, it's all the same. With level 1 and 2 on, it boosted a good amount. 3 on, boom. And this with everything up, you get 4 extra dB on everything. And then the standard version is just without the tuning. So you just get the regular, just that red line right there. I couldn't find them on Amazon yet, probably because it's just a new thing. So I guess the question is, are these a gimmick? Are the little switches worth it? I think if you're comparing this probably to the ones without the switches, definitely get the one with the switches. That way you can turn them all up. And if you have too much bass, which I don't think you will with these, then you could turn some down. But when compared to the DQSs, I would just get the DQSs. Having said that, there are people in the comments, even though I love these, everybody's ears are different. I love these DQSs. I sing, play electric guitar. I don't play bass, but I like bass. I don't like it to sound too flat. That way it just sounds too dead to me. But if you're like, whoa, those have way too much bass, these will probably be the way to go. They sound very balanced. Everything is just a little more flat, not dead sounding. It's still very clear. You can hear the bass. It's just you're feeling it a little less, even with the foam tips. So the things I love about this, the metal, I don't feel like I'm gonna break this. I feel like I could drop it and it would be completely fine. I don't feel like it's gonna get smushed. With these plastic ones, sometimes I think, man, if I were to lean on that or something, my backpack got squished, that would just like break. This doesn't feel like it would ever break. So if you're someone who breaks things, this might be a good option. The other good thing about this, it's very inexpensive. It's double the price of, $13 or double and a half at $35, but it's not. ZARs coming in at $99. These are great. I use these a lot as well. A little more bounce probably than the DQS, but man, these are another great option. And having options and pushing the envelope as KZ is doing with the new technology and coming in at such a cheap price. Way to go, KZ. All right, it's a few days later, checking in. I was able to go to rehearsal and I also had an event to play and I used them both times. Quick takeaways. I still want the slidey thing. KZ, give us the slidey thing. Number 2, I mentioned how heavy they were. They were heavy. It's not a problem when they're in your ears. I didn't notice that, but when I'm walking around between rehearsal and the service and they were like dangling, I could just take them off, I guess, but I like to leave them in because I put them down my shirt. It was just weird to get used to. I almost didn't like it. It was like annoying. So that's something to consider. Number 3, this little pin right here, as I was getting some B-roll shots, I left one in-ear with all the switches up and the other in-ear with all the switches down, and you can't do it with your finger. They're below the surface. You can't do it. You have to have a pin, and so I had to I couldn't do anything. I was stuck. I didn't have the pin with me, and I had to just pan my in-ears to try to make up for the difference, the volume difference. It was like 4 dB difference. And then the event last night, it was the same thing. I was like, oh, I forgot that pin again. Luckily, the female vocalist, Becca, she actually took her earring out, and the little pin on the back of her earring was just the right size to switch those. So thank you, Becca. Anyway, so of the 3 I tried, I would go ZAR first, just better quality. Next, DQS is the ones I would gravitate toward. And then third, these things. They're pretty inexpensive, but I would get the DQS. But if you don't like the DQS, like I said, the bass is too much, you just want to try different options. The good thing is, these are so inexpensive, I would at least get them, but that's the order I would use them in. All right, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.